In 1973, Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd hit the charts and it was an immediate success. It featured songs like Gimme 3 Steps, Tuesday's Gone, Freebird, and Simple Man. Like a lot of great rock songs, the inspiration for this song was stemmed from tragedy. Lead singer Ronnie Van Zant lost his grandmother, and lead guitarist Gary Rossington had just lost his mother. Wanting to write a tribute to the women they held so dearly in their lives, Ronnie came up with the lyrics, Gary came up with the chord progression, they put it together, and it would send this song into rock and roll history. This song didn't really fit their mold, and the producer Al Kooper really wasn't a fan of it. Gary Rossington would later say in an interview that Ronnie was not happy about this, and he took it personal because this was a tribute to one of the greatest women in his lives. So he affectionately told Al Kooper to get on back up to New York City and take some time off, and as soon as that man was on the plane, they got to recording that song. When Cooper came back from New York City, he saw that they had recorded the song without him. He said, well, I reckon I'll play organ on it. For all you Skynyrd fans out there, let me know the name that Al Kooper used in the credits of the songs that he played instruments on. The first one to get it right, I'll pin your comment to the top of the comment section. Another really cool fact that I found while I was researching this song is that the bass player for Skynyrd, Leon Wilkinson, had just left the band before they started recording this album. So Ronnie called up the lead guitarist of a psychedelic rock group called Strawberry Alarm Clocks and asked him if he'd play bass on the album, and the man said absolutely. So even though on the album cover you see Leon Wilkinson, he did not play bass on that album. The man who did play bass on that album was fired by Ronnie whenever Ronnie was like, man, you're horrible at playing bass, but how'd you like to play guitar? That man's name was Ed King, and he would later go on to write one of the most iconic songs for the band by the name of Sweet Home Alabama. So even though Skynyrd was known to be a 3-guitar band, that first album, the only people playing guitar on it is Gary Rossington and Alan Collins, with Ed King playing bass. This seems to be one of those songs that everybody knows the words to. I don't remember how old I was the first time I heard it, because I grew up listening to Skynyrd, but I do know every single time I hear this song, I basically envision my mama giving me life advice. And the song starts off basically with the mother walking up to her son and saying, sit down, we're gonna have a talk. And she proceeds to give her son the blueprint to living a free life by a simple moral code. And I think most people can identify with that. And I think that's why this song grabs our hearts. I've literally never met anyone that said they didn't like this song. They might not even necessarily be Skynyrd fans, but this song seems to strike a chord, pun intended, with everybody that hears it. And it seems like, from what I could research, the members of Skynyrd embodied that song. They were simple Southern men who just like to be with their family, go fishing on the weekends, and just hang out. Now, for you guitar players out there, we're gonna break down the chords of this song, and ironically for the name, Simple Man, it's a very simple song to play. It features 3 chords the entire song in the exact same order. There's some embellishments along the way, but it's really not that complicated. So let's take a look. So the chords for Simple Man are C major, G major, and A minor. So now, if you're not ready for the alternate picking and the string skipping, which is a little daunting, I would just play the rhythm. It's 1 bar of C, 1 bar of G, and then 2 bars of A minor. I can't help it, I gotta throw that embellishment in there. The chorus is the exact same thing, but they play power chords. So we've got a C power chord, a G power chord, and then an A power chord. That is another embellishment using a G note. And it's the same bar structure. 1 bar of C, 1 bar of G, 2 bars of A. And you don't have to do the embellishments, but it sounds really cool. But if you're not ready for embellishments yet, you can just go. So now we'll get into the alternate picking and the string skipping that they do throughout the rhythm. Like I said before, Gary and Alan are doing it together, but they're slightly off time to give it more of a chorus effect. Simple Man is an extremely great practice for string skipping and alternate picking, and it'll really get your picking dexterity up. The chords themselves aren't really hard. It's really what's going on with your right hand that can be a little tricky. Now the solo has Gary Rosington written all over it. The man loved double stops, he loved oblique bends, and this solo is chock full of them. He drills us with A minor pentatonic, starting from position 5 all the way up to the end of that neck. Now to play it like the record, you need a guitar with 22 frets on it, but I've also played it on my 21 fret Strat and it sounds pretty good. Let's take a look at, in my opinion, one of the best parts of the solo. Now, you don't need a 59 Les Paul like Gary Rosington to play this, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did, man. Now the entire solo is amazing. But the part that's always stuck out to me is the one that's played in position 17, way up yonder on the neck. And he starts off pretty typical and then works his way up here. Let's play up to that point. All right, there might have been a couple little mistakes in there, but that's okay. I never claim to be perfect. But you'll see he builds up to this tension, this incredible tension up here in the 17th fret, and that's always caught my ear whenever I hear it. And he is doing nothing more than playing in the pentatonics. He's not doing anything special, but his bends and his double stops are incredible. Now I'm gonna play that phrase really slowly. So you'll hear there's slides, there's bends. The trickiest part to me is that bend that he starts on the 20th fret. And he's kind of bending, he's picking while he's bending. And then he catches that 22nd fret. If you don't have a guitar with 22 frets, you can try to give it that little extra oomph whenever you're at the top, but it does make it a little bit easier if you've got 22 frets, but it's not a deal breaker if you don't. And again, the end of that phrase that he's bending up to that note right there, which is an A. So our resolution note is always A in this song. It just relieves the tension. And Gary Rosington did a fantastic job with this solo. Well, there you have it, guys. Simple chords, a really fun solo to play. The song being in a minor key was kind of a break from the norm for these guys. And if you listen to their other songs, it really doesn't sound as hard as the other ones. And the reason why is that minor key. And Southern rock is largely based around major keys. Just listen to the Allman Brothers Band, Marshall Tucker, and Skynyrd's catalog. Freebird, major. Gimme 3 Steps, major. Tuesday's Gone, major. And that's probably why Al Kooper didn't really like it. And then whenever Skynyrd being Skynyrd, they said, well, we're going to do it anyways. And they recorded it and then they played it live. Al Kooper realized how wrong he was because the crowd went nuts for it. Ronnie Van Zant's younger brother, Johnny, who later took over for him as lead singer after the plane crash, said it's one of their most favorite songs to play live because the entire audience sings it with them. And there's probably nothing greater for a band than to hear thousands and thousands of people sing the lyrics to your song. This song broke the barriers and the constraints of what Southern rock's supposed to sound like. And it might even make you go into your own heart and ask you, how do I live a good life? And I think Skynyrd said it best. Live it simple, man. Well, there you have it, y'all. First episode of Under the Covers. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you like it, run up and bear hug that like button for me. Also, I'm up for video ideas. Let me know in the comments below if you have any. I read all my comments. And remember, practice doesn't necessarily make you perfect, but it can make you okay. We'll see you on the next one.